Okay, let's play a standard game. Aw, the Halloween stuff is gone. Okay, this is a good game for us already because we have 2 rooms. You always want to have as many rooms as possible. Okay, this player made a mistake because they called me into the room and I haven't rolled yet. I could have rolled a 2. I could have rolled a 2 for 3 rounds. I could have been trapped in the hallway forever, not able to do anything or learn anything. But they were dumb and called me in here. Okay, so what you do here is, we know now that she has one of these cards. We don't know which one, but we know she has one of these. And so we put a 1 in each box. That way we remember that she's got to have one of these. You learn more in Clue by listening to other people's answers to questions than you do by asking your own. And that's something as a child playing that I never understood. Okay, see, let's see here. So if we would have rolled low, no, we rolled high, we rolled 7. So, like normally I think I probably would have started here. Where is it here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We would have been barely able to get into the study. Okay, we have neither the ballroom or the billiard room. So we would rather be in there. So let's go to the ballroom. The reason being is that players tend to flock to the corner rooms or spend more time in them since you can travel back and forth. Let's call myself in here. I'm following my own rules. And let's go ahead and see if she has the revolver. She has mustard. Okay. So now, since this is green, we're not going to know anything from these 2 ones. They're not going to tell us anything because this is a yes. If it was a no, we would know that then she'd only have one of those 2. But technically she can have all 3 of these. So the green check here doesn't really help us. The only thing the ones help us do now is to know that she's been asked about those before. You'll understand here in a minute if you don't understand already. Basically, if she was asked about mustard and said no, and was asked about revolver and said no, we would know without having to ask that she has conservatory. But that only works if you keep getting no's. If you get a yes, then it doesn't really help you a lot. Okay, so he's saying he's got one of these. You can put any number you want to in there, but you go up and down with it per person. So each column can have a 1 in it, and a 2 in it, and a 3 in it. Aw. Okay. In this situation, You always want to not show anyone your room card. Never, never, never share a room card if you can avoid it. Always give them a weapon or a person. The reason being is that they can only ask for the room if they go to that room. So now he's got to make a decision next time, Professor Plum, is whether or not he's going to stay in that room and keep asking for the dining room until he gets it, or he's going to leave. And we're hoping he's going to leave so we don't have to show anyone the dining room. Same thing here, we don't want to show the kitchen. In this case, we don't have any choice. We have to show the kitchen. And if you're now 2 people know the kitchen. And the computer is keeping track just like I am, so that all these other people know that I was asked about kitchen and whatever the other 2 cards were, and I said yes to one of them. So they have ones here in my place. Later at the end of the game, you can see their card, and you can see that they deduce things too, just like I'm doing it. Now we have another person needing the kitchen. It is tempting to leave the room, but I am not going to do it. We're still going to ask about the revolver again. We already know that it's me, and so I can't ask that. Plum is in a room. Oh yeah, see, this is a brilliant defensive move, because he's in the dining room, which we have and nobody knows. We want to get him out of the dining room. So, and we have the card. Right, and so he's not going to be able to. No one's going to be able to show us Plum, right? And so we call him in here, and then we're either going to learn the weapon or hopefully the room. Okay, we're going to ask revolver, and so that way we're kind of trapping her. Either she's going to show us the room, which is really what we would prefer, or she's going to show us that she doesn't have the revolver or does. And that's going to clear that out one way or the other. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to stay in the ballroom. And we're going to call Plum over here to get him out of the room that we have. Even though we know he's not it. It's a defensive move. And it also narrows down our scope. See, now we know she doesn't have the revolver. Okay, he has the revolver. Everybody get out of the kitchen. Okay, see this? We already have the kitchen, so we know he's not showing that card. In this case, he's showing only one of 2 cards. He either has the dagger, or he has Scarlet. He has one of the 2. Right? So that's going to be the focus of our next thing. If we can get somebody to say no to one of these 2, then we're going to know that the other one is held by Plum. Same thing here. We already know that we have kitchen. That ain't it. And so this person either has the wrench or they have white. Okay, see, we got one X here on their one. So now we know it's either this one or this one that this person has. I think we're going to do lead pipe and scarlet next time. Actually, we might do green, maybe, because he's going over here. We want to keep people in the kitchen as long as we can, because everybody already knows that already. Okay, see, now I can ask Scarlet. I can get her out of that room and draw her over here. Okay, see, here's a good example. We know she doesn't have that. We know she doesn't have that. So we know automatically for free that she has the study. Boom. Because we're keeping track of what she's doing. So we know the study's not it. And that also tells us that none of these people have the study. Okay, because she has it. So you go ahead and put X's in there. These are tentative X's. Because we deduced all this. This is why they're a different color. Once it's declared that they're none of these, or that they're this, it will turn solid like these, or we can't undo them. These we can undo. These we can take off when we find out we made a mistake. These other ones we can't do because we know we didn't make a mistake. We know that that's correct. So they just gave us the study for free. Scarlet's being asked a lot. You see, we weren't able to get them out of the dining room. So Mrs. White is going to know that we have the dining room. And she knows we have the kitchen. So she knows 2 out of our 3 cards. Oh man, come on, really? I'm trying to keep people out of there. Okay, we still don't have the ballroom after all this, so we're going to stay in here. The longer you're in here asking about the same room, the more likely it is that that's the room the murder happened in, because you keep asking and people keep not showing you the card. So, we're going to do the ballroom again, and what do we say, Scarlet? Dagger, let's see. Now we're going to do Dagger. And let's do White and Dagger. Yeah, White's in the dining room. She already knows it, though. The Scarlet no dining room. She knows dining room, too, so that's not important. Okay, so let's do White and Dagger. And this should help us pretty well. Okay, so it didn't help us with White yet, but it did help us here. Okay, so we only had 2 number 1s here, and one of them was just answered no. So we know Plum has Scarlet. And we know these people don't, so we found out 3 things. Not counting what we asked. So we know it's not Scarlet now. And... and we found out this. See, I knew there was another one somewhere. This is now an X. This is now an X. And there's no other ones here, except for lead pipe. So now we know that green has the lead pipe. Boom. And we know these people don't. So I deduced 6 things on this, and like I found out 2 for sure. So this was a really good round for us, okay? Because I asked correct questions to kind of fill out the rest of the card. I wasn't so much trying to find out about these as I was trying to deduce these. If you understand that concept. You're trying to get as much of the card filled out for as little questions as possible. So I found out like 10 things that round. Okay, we know it's not this one, so that's good. We have possible and candlestick now. We've already had 1s here, so you don't want to confuse yourself. So you put 2s here. So it's one of those 2. Nice. Unfortunately, we have to show them the kitchen. Only one person now does not know that it's not kitchen. Peacock is the only one who doesn't know that we have the kitchen. But she has probably deduced it at this point that either we have it or that it's the murder room. So Peacock is probably going to head here as soon as possible. Okay, so this is X, this is X. If we didn't already know, that would be ballroom. Or if we would have guessed, it would confirm that that was the ballroom. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and mark these 2 just because, to show that we were asked about them. Even though the ones really don't help us other than the fact that we know that somebody was asked about it. Okay, we've deduced this is an X. We've deduced that this is an X. So that means that we're deducing that she has billiard room. And none of these people have anything. And so if we hadn't have been deducing things on these 2, we would have no idea. So this we've learned for free just because we're paying attention. Okay, we have finally found out ballroom. Okay, ballroom's the room we started in. We only got 4 rooms left. We don't need to go to dining room. We don't need to go to the kitchen. We don't need to go to the ballroom. So that leaves these 2. Billiard room we already know. So that only leaves conservatory, right? Okay, in this particular case, you either want to call in the person that you already have, or you want to call in the person that you know the killer is. You don't want to call anybody else because somebody has those cards and we really don't care who. Okay? Basically, this will keep, if we call if we call Plum, nobody's going to be able to show us Plum, but it will move Plum into this room. Okay? We don't want to help him right now, so we're going to go ahead and choose white. If you're playing against real people, you might want to choose Plum to keep white's name from constantly coming up. Because the more people that figure out white, the more people are going to be guessing white. Let's do dagger, since we already know these 3 people don't have it. Boom. Okay, so now we know that these 2 people must have dagger, or it's the weapon. Whenever possible, you want to force people to answer the room. That way you can get onto another room and you don't have to stay there. Moving around the board is essential. Yeah, see, I told you she was going to the kitchen. She went to the kitchen because that's the only room she has left. It either has to be kitchen or I have the kitchen. And I'm at the end of the line, so all these people have to answer her other questions first. This was a very strong play for her. And we know she doesn't have Plum, or that we know that Plum doesn't have Plum, and we know that Plum doesn't have kitchen, but we already know he has the revolver. So this doesn't really help us, but it doesn't help her either. Now we want to get her out of the kitchen as quickly as possible, if we can. In this case, it may hamstring us, because we don't know who has her. We don't have any clue who has her. If we knew Scarlet did, we would be able to go down the whole line here. Somebody pulled me out of somewhere. I'm in the dining room now, which I don't want to be in. Library and lounge. Hall's the closest, I think. So we're gonna have to roll high to get over there. Wow, a lot of people trying to guess me now. Okay, so this time we know it's not this. We know it's not this because we have both those cards. So this person has the wrench, which means these people don't. Take the wrench out of the pile. It also gives us a check mark in the 1 here. So we should have figured that out already because there was only one other 1 checked. So, did we miss anything else? The 2 we still don't know about. Okay, we'll ask about the candlestick next. If we find out that this person does not have the candlestick, then that means they have green, which will help us know who has him. Like if we find out that if Professor Plum has green, it means that he doesn't have any of these other cards, and so we can go X all the ones out in Plum's column. But yeah, see, here you go. We just found out all of White's. We know that she has the wrench, the ballroom, and the conservatory. Okay? So she cannot have any of these other cards. So you go and X them out. We just found out a whole lot of information. So that's something, that's more of a higher end strategy that you keep track of, is that once you find out all their cards, you clear the whole column. You learn a whole lot of information sometimes from that. And these 2 people, and the people at the end, it's harder to get all their cards, because these people will always show you their cards before these people, because you go down the list. So now we want to find out these 2 people so we can X out their whole thing. So we would probably want to do green and candlestick so that we could find out Plum's stuff. We could find out these. The good part about being in the dining room is at least we have the dining room. So that if I roll a 2, I could stay in the dining room and try to figure out what the weapon is. Nobody's going to be able to show me the room and ruin my plan. Okay, so we know she has that, so this really isn't going to help us any. You're going to want to make sure you put a 2 here too, if you do this. Because once again, that's just going to tell us, since we already have a green check mark in one of them, it's just going to tell us that she was asked about those. It really doesn't help us. It's more like a survey. It's more like a poll. The real help is when everybody keeps saying no. Nah, that wasn't really helpful to us. We already knew that. Okay, we need to roll real high. I don't think it's going to be good enough. Oh, it is. Okay, so we need the lounge and the hall. There's a bigger chance of somebody calling us into the lounge normally. So we're going to want to go to the hall. Okay, this one we're gonna do backwards of what I would normally do. Because we're trying to fill out green and plum to see if we can learn all our cards. So let's do or peacock and plum, sorry. We're gonna ask about green and we're gonna ask about candlestick. So hopefully somebody here will tell us what's going on. I have green. Okay, we wanted him to say no. Because now we still don't know if he has candlestick. He can still have both. And he can still have hall. But we did fill out his card. Okay. So, we know that's not it. Oh, we know that's not it? Okay. So since we filled out his whole card, it's impossible for him to have candlestick. So that's the murder weapon. And he cannot have rope. And he cannot have hall. The hall's looking better and better. Cannot have that. Cannot have that. Okay. We know that she has that. Okay, doesn't really give us anything to work with. The game is getting pretty close. Somebody else has to have almost all their stuff filled out too. I'm especially worried about Miss Peacock, who goes right after me. Okay, so that's X'd out. So we know it's either rope. I think we got a 2 in this column already, don't we? No? Got 2. We know he has one of these 2. And right now at this point we really don't want to get called out of the hall. Because we're kind of in between the other 2 rooms. Okay, this doesn't help us, unfortunately. 2. 2. see here, we know that she's been asked about Peacock twice. So she's looking better and better for Peacock. The hall is looking like more and more it's the place. Because you'll notice at the end of the game that people start gravitating towards the room that it is, because nobody has that. Everybody's card's getting full, just like mine is, and nobody has the hall. We know that out of the 6 players, 4 of them don't have the hall. So it's looking better and better that that's going to be it. That's a no, that's a no, that's a no. No help. Oh, here's another advanced strategy here. Let me see what they're doing. Is that we know it's the candlestick. We know what the murder weapon is, right? And now we know all these people don't have the dagger. So that means Scarlet does. We haven't demonstrated that one yet today. Okay, so that's an X, and that's a check. So no help that time. Okay, so this is getting down to the nitty-gritty. We would really, really, really like it to be the hall. And that's a really good roll. Like, I'm tempted to leave, but the hall is the most likely place, and there's already a ton of people in it. Okay, so we're gonna do white again. Is she here? Green. Peacock. Oh. White's in the billiard room. We don't need to be there. Yeah, let's go ahead and call white, and we'll call candlestick. Just to confirm it. You see, this still is unconfirmed technically. We could have do something wrong, and that could be it. If we get down there and Plum says, yes, that's me, we would have messed up a whole bunch of stuff, deducing stuff. But at least it would tell us. And then we would know it was the rope. Okay, but hopefully candlestick white. So if anyone has the hall, they have to show us now. Because we know that it's not these. This is forcing them to tell us if it's the hall. And if they say yes, then we win. Or if they say no. You know what I mean. Yes, sir. You always want to double check. And so I'm thinking that Peacock probably had everything. I think she was close. And I will tell you in a second, and you'll be able to look at their cards. Their sheets. Oh, she didn't. Plum had them all. So if we didn't guess right then, Plum would have won. And that's why you could tell this person had 2 of them, this person had 2, this person had 2, this person had 2. He had all 3. He just again didn't get a chance to guess yet. Now she could have, on her next turn, found out whatever information she needed to solve it. Okay, so compare clue sheets. And so we can bring up her sheet. Look at all these deductions down here. All of these. She didn't ask a single question about the library or the lounge, but she was able to rule them out because she was deducing stuff. And here you can see that she found out about his column. See how they're all X'd out? She found out all the cards Plum had too, just like I did. And she did not find out whites because these are unchecked. But yeah, that is a good example right there. Is that she deduced both that it was not the library and not the lounge just by listening to other people's responses. Plum was the one who had it, besides us. And he basically did it old school. He has that confirmed, he has that confirmed, and he almost has the whole confirmed. He just doesn't have me confirming it. It's good. This person also had 2 rooms. This person had 2 rooms. Yeah, but it's always good to look down here to see what's going on. And that's how you play a basic game of Clue. I hope you learned some of the more advanced things. I hope I explained them well enough so that you could get them. But yeah, one of the trickiest things to do is to learn to watch the columns to see when they have all 3 cards, because that could end up telling you like 20 things. So just pay attention to that. Have a good game.